Welcome into Buccaneers Total Access, brought to you by Hooters. We are in the Hooters Owl's Nest, and Allie Marpet and I are joined now by Luke Goedeke. Luke, thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you guys very much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Also, I feel like I've heard 1,000 ways people have said your last name. Is this a common problem for you?
Yeah, unfortunately. It's got to the point where I don't even correct people anymore. But, yeah, I've had some wild pronunciations of my last name over the years, for sure.
I'm sure. I was like,
Yeah.
it was funny because I actually even got nervous as I was saying it. I was like, I think I got it right. But so many people have said it another way that I started second-guessing myself.
Hey, whatever you feel like saying, go ahead. I don't care at this point.
That's how I got. So I think my rookie year, Gerald had a show. It's called like Deanie's Den, right? Mm-hmm. He had a player show. He'd have some people come on, and he had asked how to pronounce my name because some people would go Ali, Marpet, whatever. There was 100 different variations.
Yeah.
And I was just like, it's Ali, but at this point,
whatever.
I'm dead inside. whatever you want to call me.
If you want to call me Muhammad Ali, go
right ahead.
Amazing. All right. Well, we have a lot we're going to talk to you about. First, we got to get into this game a little bit from this last Thursday. Now, you've had a few days to digest it. Normally, we do the show on Monday, and it's right after the game has happened. You had a few days. Tell me some of the takeaways, and then now that you guys have had some meetings about it and talked about it, what are some of the big takeaways at this point?
I would say just offensive side. I mean, it's just like, I know it's harped on every week. Like everyone says, like how close we are, but like if you look turn on the film, it couldn't be more evident. Just few missed blocks here or there, penalties, just you name it. It's just very small, minute things. But in this league, you can't have that. So that's really what's kind of been troubling us the last few weeks and everything.
So I know that there's like it's always like a couple little things. I'm curious during conversations with like either players or staff, is there anything like thematically where it feels like there's consistently one or two things, or is it just week to week kind of different?
I feel like it's week to week.
Yeah.
I mean, there's definitely just kind of being on the same page is kind of just a big one that keeps coming up week after week, just all 11 guys on the same page.
From a communication standpoint?
Yeah, from a communication standpoint, just so everyone knows like who they're working to, whether it's in rundowns or like who we're working to in pass downs and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think it's so hard sometimes to be able to communicate. Like offensive line, you're in a position meeting with each other all the time. So it's like so easy, right, to communicate between those five guys. Mm-hmm. And usually with the quarterback, again, you can make it easy. You kind of see things sort of similarly with the protections. But when you start including everybody, it really becomes difficult because you can't meet with everybody all the time. It would be so inefficient, right, if receivers and O-line were together all the time. So you kind of do have to meet separately, and it kind of makes that communication so much more difficult.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I know with the penalties in particular, I'm always, as someone who didn't play football, curious about what you do to try to fix that. 'Cause again, it's not like everybody is like, oh, I didn't know I wasn't supposed to do that. Yeah. So like, what is the thing that goes from, okay, we're committing these penalties, and especially maybe some of the ones that aren't as much the heat in the moment, that are some of the ones that are maybe communication-based or pre-snap based, things like that. What are the strategies that you feel like you guys are doing, or what are coaches saying to try to mitigate that? Of what is, in y'all's mind, the difference in like a game where it's like we were so disciplined, penalty-free, versus one that's not? What tends to be the thing that causes that?
Yeah, I mean, I'll own up to my mistakes. I mean, I had 3 false starts, which is absolutely inexcusable. And it's just, I mean, there's a lot of moving parts out there. I mean, you have crowd noise. I'm not trying to make any excuses whatsoever, but you have crowd noise, different cadences you're going off of. There's a whole bunch of things that you just have to pay attention to. And then just timing the snap and everything, because obviously you want to have some sort of advantage being able to time up the snap and everything. Like Buffalo, they're great at coming off the ball. I mean, they're impeccable at literally timing our own snap. So just this week we've really came in and really started harping more on using the silent cadence and stuff like that already this Monday and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna make excuses either, but it's hard.
Yeah.
And especially at tackle, right? So I only played guard, but at tackle, I just want you to try and picture it, right? So you have to be able to kind of periff the head bob of the center, and then also see Von Miller, who's
trying to kill you. Yeah.
No, but he's also like super wide 9. He's like a 17 technique.
Yes.
He was playing out like 8 yards away. It was So how can you periff?
Yeah, you're needing to be a gecko where your eyes are going in totally different directions out here.
So do your best gecko impression next time.
Yeah. That's all you got to do.
Like
it's fine.
I'm like looking this way because, like you said, he's way out there. I'm looking this way. See, as soon as I see the ball snapped, I got to quick turn my head and then block a future Hall of Famer. I mean, it's.
I mean, no, not making excuses. Like you're out there to do a job, and you're expected to do the job, but
absolutely.
it's a really tough job.
Yeah.
And so, especially when I think one thing that Von Miller did really well, and the entire defensive line did very well, was timing up the snaps.
Oh,
to your point,
it was.
They like had a read on it.
Yeah, like a tell or something. Like watching film. Like just literally like a split second before the ball's even snapped, they were starting their rush, and like. You can't catch that with the naked eye unless you really slow it down on film.
And at that point, you gotta, and we're not giving away trade secrets, but I gotta think that there's got to be ways to sort of mix it up.
Yeah.
And to give you guys, because it really should be an advantage for the offense.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
Knowing the cadence, and I think that being able to get like kind of savvy and sneaky with your cadence helps you guys out a lot.
Oh, huge, especially at tackles. I mean, me and Tristan, we talked about it after the game and everything.
Yeah.
Looking back at the film, like, we don't know. Like, we haven't seen like this ever before, like, where we felt like we were so behind.
Every single play, it looked like they knew the cadence.
Yeah.
And then you guys were like, I don't know, it's not playing catch up.
No, absolutely. That's what it was. Yeah.
Well, and especially in pass pro when you're already playing catch up, like you're already backing up. You're
Yeah.
already having to like absorb that.
Yeah.
And then when they're getting that head start, that's a lot. We're talking to Luke Goedeke here. I will say the run game, you guys had more yards by half than you had the last 2 games at the end of the game. So tell me what seemed to be working better in that area.
Yeah, I mean, I think just mentality-wise and kind of like what I said before, our communication was definitely better. I mean, there still was a few things that we need to clean up and everything. And obviously getting behind the 8 ball, we weren't able to run the ball as much with penalties and then being down and everything. So we weren't quite able to take advantage of that opportunity to full extent. But, I mean, if you look at the tape, like we made some good holes. I mean, the running backs had some good runs and everything. There's a few that really that was just so close to being like a 70, 80-yard gash, like just having the safety to beat. But, it'll come. I have faith in everything.
Yeah, I think if it gives you something to, again, build on, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
If you guys can sort of feel comfortable, like, hey, if we get these, again, you're going to get a pretty good front.
Yeah.
And, like, hey, we can get some displacement.
Yeah.
And we can get a hat on a hat if we're consistent enough with it and we have a normal flow of the game that we're competent enough.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we only ended up running the ball, like, we were only able to run the ball about 14 times or so.
It's the flow of the game,
Yeah,
though.
exactly. Yeah. That's just how it is sometimes, unfortunately, but.
Yeah, and you guys have played, all 5 of you, starting alignment, have played every snap together all season until now. Filer goes out, Stinnie has to step in, and these were Stinnie's first snaps in a game since going through that big injury last year. And how did you feel like he handled it, and how were you guys all able to be so together and ready for that?
Yeah, he hats off to Stinnie. I mean, he did an incredible job. I mean, just in pass pro and the run game. I mean, suffered that horrific injury last year and just be able to come back just like that and his first start and play at a very high level. That just speaks volumes to his preparation and everything. And really proud of the guy. I mean, us 5-0 linemen, we all have each other's backs at the end of the day, no matter what happens. So that's just how we are. We're a real tight-knit group and everything.
That's great.
Yeah. Oh, no, I was texting with Stinnie after the game, too, because, like, again, when you guys were playing down and both those DNs were like 17 techniques.
Yeah.
But the 3 techs were 9 techniques. Yeah. And I'm like, dude, they're running down. Like, again, they have the upper hand, right? They're playing from up, so they can sort of get the pass rush going. But these D tackles playing DN spots, running down the middle of you, being able to sit down on that power speed to ball is brutal. So I think Stinnie did a pretty great job considering that
they had some guys like 340, 350
running
trying
full head of
steam.
Yeah.
Trying to run down the middle.
I'd be making a business decision, but that's why I do what I do, and you guys have done what you do.
You had some blown out patellas.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You got to be careful.
How about for you guys, just kind of looking at the year as a whole, what are the biggest things, either pass pro, run game that have stood out that you guys feel like you've done well as an offensive line, things you guys are working on just as you were nearing kind of that halfway point? What would, as you kind of take stock of it so far, what stands out?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like definitely just starting with the pass game. I feel like for the most part we've kept Baker relatively clean in our drop back passes as far as the season has gone so far. So I mean, there has been a few here and there where he has taken some mean and nasty hits, but I mean, unfortunately, the defensive line, they get paid too, so they're gonna win some too. You can't win every rep, but I mean, yeah, I feel like we've done a decent job keeping them clean for the most part. And then in the run game, I think obviously I think we can definitely continue to improve there and everything and just continue to get better. I mean, just our yards per carry especially, get some big chunk runs and kind of get that up. I think that's like the biggest thing we're looking for, definitely, of us 5 up front.
Yeah, and I think one thing that we were talking about, I think it was last week, when talking about sacks as a statistic.
Yeah.
And, like, again, you guys have been, I believe, relatively towards the top of the league as far as sacks allowed, right?
Yeah, I think we were second.
Right.
Yeah.
But the truth is, like, I feel like that sometimes can be misleading. I'm not trying to discredit what you guys are doing.
No,
but
not
like,
at all.
I do think that I think I saw someone that's doing like a true sack rate where it's like a guy's just getting beat, sacking the quarterback. It's not like a coverage sack or anything like that. And I think that's honestly where you guys have been pretty darn good.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like there's guys getting clean beat off the line,
off the jump,
considering we're this far into the season. I mean, there's enough reps for you to kind of expect that.
Yeah.
With 5 different guys, these guys are going to get clean beats, but it hasn't really happened as much.
Yeah, and I feel like Baker, I mean, he's great at scrambling. I mean, he's a slippery quarterback to take down. I know there was one he got away from Floyd the other night or whatever.
Which that's
incredible. Yeah,
it's an incredible thing to be able to do.
Yeah,
there's also a couple where it's some empty protections, I feel like, and there's some guys coming free. Like, you can't block them all, right? Depending on the protection, right? So, like, quarterbacks need to be able to communicate if someone is coming, and Baker's still making guys miss, like unblocked guys.
That's insane.
It's pretty crazy.
And how cool is that for you guys as a line to know that he's capable of that? Does that change kind of even how you feel or your mentality while you're out there knowing that? Because we talked about the idea of alley blocking for Tom Brady, and it's a little different knowing, like, you know where he's going to be standing.
Every time.
Yeah.
That's it.
7 yards back.
Yeah.
He ain't moving.
Not moving. So, like, what is it like for you guys as an O-line to know that he's going to be able to maybe help you guys out in that way as well?
Yeah, I mean, we love Baker. I mean, his elusiveness, just his leadership qualities, and just all around, like, his passion for the game. We love that. And, yeah, his elusiveness to make guys miss, I mean, that's huge. That really gets us fired up. I mean, he really does a great job of extending plays, and he's definitely a guy, like, I put my body on the line for, no doubt.
And it seems like he's done an amazing job also of, like, the team bonding, the leadership, the spending time with you guys outside, and especially the O-line, which, let me tell you, if I'm a quarterback, I am just sucking all the way up to all of you guys. Like, whatever you want to do, whatever you want, I am giving it to you. But it seems like he's done a really great job of coming in here and doing that, especially with the line.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, unbiased opinion, we're O-line, we're kind of a cool group.
Unbiased opinion.
Totally unbiased.
Totally unbiased.
Totally unbiased.
Show of offensive lineman here. Totally unbiased.
This is an onlooker. Yeah. This is just from an outsider looking in.
That's incredible. All right.
But yeah, he has done. We have had some great, like, bonding. I mean, he comes to O-line dinners and everything like that we do weekly. So that's just big. And then, like, off season, we had a lot of fun together and stuff like that. So yeah.
That's great. All right, we're going to take a quick break here on Buccaneers Total Access, brought to you by Hooters, the original wing joint since 1983. This is Buccaneers Radio. Welcome back into Buccaneers Total Access. We are here in the Hooters Owl's Nest, joined by Luke Goedeke. We were just talking about the bonding that you did with Baker over the last offseason a little bit, and I know that in general, for you, one of the things you love to do is fishing. This is like one of your favorite things. Is that fair?
Yeah, no, that's completely fair. I mean, it's one of my childhood hobbies and everything, and just grew up doing it and absolutely love fishing.
What's your best thing you've caught?
Ooh, best thing I caught? I caught a 140-pound yellowfin tuna down in Panama, or I caught like another 120-pound sailfish down there too. That was pretty cool.
Holy cow!
Yeah. What do you do with that?
You feed the village, man.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like,
the sailfish, you throw that back. But the yellowfin tuna, yeah, you feed a village with that.
That's awesome.
I'm just imagining you reaching in like one-handed and pulling out like a 140-pound fish.
It was two hands.
Two hands. Oh, okay.
This was a straight butterball.
How long was the fight?
It was a good 40-45 minutes.
Jeez.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I would tuck her out.
Yeah,
It was a pretty surreal experience.
That's cool.
Yeah. Oh, we got on a big school of tuna then, and like catching like 2-3 in a row on spinning rods. There's guys reeling fishing on their knees. They were so tired. Yeah.
See, I tuckered out after like a 10-pound bass. I can't even fathom what you're working on.
It's it'll beat you up for sure.
That's incredible. I feel like this is what you've been training for. It's not just football. You're in
Yeah.
there like you were lifting right before doing the show. It's for football and for fishing.
I just
Yeah.
feel like you kind of get one side dominant, you know.
Kill,
if you're going to be
two birds with one stone.
Oh, there you go. That's another way to do it. Did you go fishing after the Thursday night game? Get a little like a mini buy?
I did not.
No.
I haven't been fishing for a few weeks now. I'm kind of going through withdrawals.
Yeah.
Kind of get shakes at night and stuff like that.
Yeah. Go to like a pond out back.
Yeah. I did. Speaking of that, I did go to the pond during camp out back here.
You fished behind the facility?
Oh, yeah. I caught a catfish.
Oh, look at that.
How about that?
A little armored catfish.
See a gator too?
No.
I
Didn't catch
finally
him.
saw the gator this year for the first time.
Wow.
It does exist. I did witness it. Also, so we did talk about you right before the show. You were lifting your, I think it's your Instagram or Twitter handle or something is Luke the Lifter.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Well, you can't change
my
it?
Twitter one. No, I don't think so.
Not if you're verified or something.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Got to pay extra for that.
Yeah. That blue check.
It's kind of like a play on Bob the Builder, you know.
I
like that. That's
the
pretty good.
explanation makes sense.
So I do enjoy that you seemed mildly embarrassed by this handle when I brought it up.
Well, how old were you?
Probably like 9.
No
9 or 10.
The
way.
Yeah. So my
I have so many questions about
Yeah.
this.
Yeah. So me and my so I had to come up with like maybe it was more like 11 or 12 actually.
I feel like that feels
Either
a
way.
little more age appropriate, but okay, 11, 12.
Because me and my stepdad, I didn't have an email yet, so we had to make an email for me, and and I was like, I don't know what I want my email to be. He's like, well, what's something you like to do? I was like, well, I guess I like to lift.
At like
And there it
11 or
was.
12.
I was
This
gonna
is
say, I was gonna say,
amazing.
lifting at 9 feels a little early.
Oh, yeah, but 11,
no,
that's
then-
totally reasonable.
No, I was lifting that early.
At 9?
Yes. Yeah,
Spoken so eloquently.
What?
I was addicted to doing whatever it took to be
It was
great
like,
athlete.
So this is lifting because at 9 you're like, I want to be a great athlete.
Yeah, there's a weight set out in our garage. I'm gonna go lift some weights.
This is amazing.
It's not like, I'm going to a personal trainer or anything.
Did you have like older brothers or something?
I had an
Like-
older brother,
Okay.
and me and him, we'd work out. I mean, we had like a little parachute we'd put on our back and train with, little ladders,
This is
stuff
adorable.
like
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
incredible.
that. Yeah.
I'm honestly very impressed with this work ethic of that early. So was it specifically football you knew you wanted to do?
No. I mean, so growing up, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be an NFL running back. My mom,
Wow.
Yeah, I
I'm
know.
sorry to laugh at you, bud, but
no.
Allie didn't even hide that for a second.
no, it's a nice dream, you know.
Whoa! You think I don't have the speed?
I think they got a
crazy.
lot of things that don't make you run
That's
back. but
crazy.
yeah.
I could run through a wall, man.
I believe that.
Yeah.
Maybe put him at fullback for a play, you know.
Yep.
Oh yeah. I would,
One for Vito, one for Luke. You
There you
know,
go.
just throw
Yeah.
everybody in there.
Put Vita at fullback, put
Vita,
Luke at
yeah.
running back.
Oh, my gosh.
That would be. People would have to make business decisions.
Yeah, I think this is a great idea.
Or die.
I think we
I
just came up with a package.
We're taking it to Canales right after this show. We got it.
The super jumbo.
I love that.
Yeah.
So, what do you think you would be doing now if not football?
Ooh, if not football. So I went to college to be a mechanical engineer, so something in that realm. That was kind of like my backup plan. But
When mechanical engineering is your backup plan, that's a pretty great backup plan. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, but I didn't. I was a semester short of graduating, so it's all football or I'm living down by the river, I guess.
You can go back.
I was like, if Allie's going for 5 years
Yeah,
now,
you
you can
can
do
go.
one
No,
I
semester.
don't remember a thing.
That's
Well,
it.
what class do you know? What class?
I need like 3 or 4 classes.
Yeah,
like
you're-
one of them's like a capstone type project or whatever.
Okay. Yeah,
like
you're
project class.
probably not getting that degree.
No, they're all.
You have no faith in him. You can't be a running back. You can't finish your
Yeah,
degree.
that's
Come on. Positive
more,
thinking.
More
That's
encouragement.
okay.
No, you can
breaking me down
you
to
can
build
do
me up.
Yeah, exactly.
Is this your plan as a therapist someday when you're certified? You can't do any of these things.
So yeah, it's a common rhetoric, in the NFL. You're not good enough. You'll never be good enough. If that's not motivating, I don't know what is.
Inspiring.
Yeah.
So I remember that you talked about this when you were being out of high school, that you just weren't recruited
No.
at all. I don't know if you've heard this. He described himself as a negative 2-star recruit, which is
Yeah.
one of my favorite phrases I've ever heard. Not
Wow.
just I was not a star. He was like, they were taking stars away from me.
Yeah.
Did you go to the camps and stuff like that?
No,
Okay.
I knew nothing about this.
Okay.
I come from a town of 700 people. I was like, all right, if I'm good enough, they'll find me, I guess. They
They
never found me. I was a diamond in the rough.
Okay.
In the far rough.
Yeah.
In the Cave of Wonders from Aladdin. That's where that diamond was.
Just like, how do you think they were going to find you? You know, it's just like
I just saw I'd be good enough, you know, and they'd find me, but no, they never did.
That word would spread far and wide. Have you heard of Luke the Lifter?
Luke the Lifter. You got to check out
You gotta
this
check
kid.
out this
I think
crazy
he played
11-year-old.
running back in the NFL.
Town of 700.
Town of 700.
Plays in Division 6 Wisconsin football.
I think he's got a chance.
Yeah.
I've heard that's the breeding ground.
Yeah. Hey, those Division 3 schools up there, they're no joke now.
Yep. Well, and see, Allie ruined this for everybody now with the Bucs of the way he came in as a lower school prospect that now everybody assumes that the small school people are the way to go.
Wait, I just want to say, in Wisconsin,
you're a living legend now.
the bunch of D3 schools, like the UW schools, are legit. So it's like Whitewater, Oshkosh, a bunch that
I
are
went to Stevens Point.
Exactly, Stevens Point, all like legit.
The only football D1 school we have, and we have no D2 schools, the only D1 school we have is UW-Madison for football. So it's either you go big or you play out of state if you're good enough, or you go to D3 school. So they're actually pretty competitive.
So for the fishing metaphor for you, you decided big fish, little pond, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I started in a little pond and worked my way up. I just ate my minnows and just kept on working.
I love that.
Luke the Lifter.
We're talking to Luke Goedeke. So you talked about you didn't. Not only were you just kind of not recruited, you thought you just were going to be done. Like you got injured at the end of high school, right? And you just thought football. This wasn't it.
Yeah. So it was like I got injured in my senior year of high school or whatever. I still played, but I had to take a bunch of ibuprofen to play and stuff like that, and just was like, all right, maybe this isn't like what I was meant to do and stuff like that. So it's like, all right, well, I guess I'll just go for chemical engineering because that's what I was going for at that point. And then with a month left in summer, I was at church actually down in Florida, and as cliche as it sounds, like I was like, after church, I was like, Mom, I think I'm going to continue playing football and like see where it takes me. Wow. And the rest is history.
Yeah. And tell me about the rest of how this went. So you start at UW-Stevens to do you said mechanical or chemical engineering?
So I was a chemical engineering and paper science major there.
Wait, paper science. I need to know, like, because it sounds like it's
made
from Dunder Mifflin in the office.
How do you think paper's made, brother?
I think we have.
Where do you think this comes from?
Hold on. I feel like we have it figured out. You know, at this point, there's not much more to figure out about paper. Is there?
There's a lot. Breakthrougs. You'd be surprised.
Paper breakthroughs.
Yes, you'd be surprised.
I would be.
I gotta take a class.
The money saving opportunities. Yeah, you'd be surprised.
I feel like we're hearing sales pitch Luke over here too.
If you can save like a cent on one process, you can save that company millions.
Wow.
Because they're running 24/7. Wow. Just constantly pumping out paper.
And paper science.
Who would have thought?
And that there was a degree.
We interview Luke, and now we're learning about paper.
Yeah.
Here we are.
Hey, just ask me anything you want to know.
Forget talking about football the rest of the show. We're just going to talk about paper.
Yeah.
So then didn't you play tight end to start out with?
Yeah, I was a tight end in high school.
It was as close to running back as he could get. He's like,
I tried.
Well, it's usually they keep like putting weight on you and changing position. Starts as a running back, tight end.
I started
tackle.
Inside and then worked my way out slowly. Mm-hmm. But then they stop at O-line. They don't let you go to wide receiver from there.
So how would you rate yourself as a tight end?
Out of 10? I'd give maybe a 7.8.
Okay.
That was all right.
That's not bad.
Did you so like you were a starting tight end?
Yeah, at the D3 school,
as a freshman.
True freshman, yeah.
Can you give some stats? Like, were you?
I was decent, Okay. I caught some passes.
Right.
Then our starting quarterback got hurt, and I went downhill from there. Poor guy snapped his leg.
Oh, that'll do it.
It's because you weren't playing O-line.
Oh, there you go. It's all your fault.
Maybe, yeah. So I only could do so much.
Yeah, that's right.
So then tell us about the decision to then transfer to Central Michigan after this.
Yeah, so, I mean, I wanted to play D1 football at that point. Like, that was kind of like another one of my goals, like when I was a kid, to be an NFL running back. It was to play D1 football, and it was to go to Wisconsin because I grew up cheering for them. And so I was like, all right, well, I guess I'll try and transfer and see what happens. So I sent out some tape to UW-Madison and Central Michigan. And was like, I just didn't want a walk-on opportunity. Like, is there any way, like, if I send you my film, like, I could get, like, an opportunity? And Central, they ended up reaching back out to me, and they had me out there for a visit and everything. And it was like, yeah, I mean, I mean, we like what we saw on film. We'd actually offer you a full scholarship. And
Wow.
then, yeah, it was pretty crazy. In Wisconsin, they got back to me and were like, I mean, we don't know if you'd make the team. First, you have to make enrollment, stuff like that. But, like, I was like, that was, like, one of my main childhood dreams. So I literally sat on the decision for 2 weeks before I decided to go to Central.
Wow.
Yeah.
What do you feel like was the thing that made you make that decision? What was the final thing of like that this was this dream of playing for them, but then the idea of Central versus that and the opportunity?
Yeah, I think it was just like, I mean, life is full of opportunities, and just gotta make the most of the opportunities you're given. And I looked at Central's schedule, who they play the following year, and they did end up playing Wisconsin. So I got to play in Camp Randall against Wisconsin. So I was a big thing, and then obviously the scholarship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
Yeah.
Well, when you're playing a D3 also, you're playing for the love of the game.
Yeah,
so
you're paying to play at that point.
That's great.
Yeah, your breakfast on road trips.
Yeah.
Little bagel, cream cheese, and an apple.
Oh, we got a bagel. We got a nice northern accent bagel.
Yeah.
I love
some
that.
blueberry cream cheese, maybe.
Oh no, I'm big strawberry cream chease.
It's every time.
Every time. This is what you want. Well, was this part of the way that I'm guessing if you were tight end and then ended up offensive line, you did have to put on just a wee bit of weight there?
Yeah, I did. I mean, once I got to Central, it was about 3 or 4 weeks of being there. Just better opportunity to see the field and everything if I had switched to O-line. So, yeah, I just switched and just trained very hard and then force-fed myself just till almost about to feel like I'm going to puke and stuff. But,
jeez, you know something about that. I was going to say, this is something the two of you have in common over here.
Mutual feeling.
There. Totally get that.
Yeah, it's not fun.
Yeah, but at least you like lifting.
Yeah, that was a good start.
That was a big thing. I was like, all right, I'm gonna put on this weight, but I'm not gonna I want to put it on the right way. It's not like I'm gonna eat this garbage food and not work out or anything. I'm gonna train my ass off and then eat right as well, so I can be in great shape.
I want to hear more about this. I feel like I want to hear the comparison of how you each did this and gained enough weight for this role. So we're going to take a quick break. We're going to have more coming up here on Buccaneers Total Access, brought to you by Hooters, the original wing joint since 1983. This is Buccaneers Radio. Welcome back into Buccaneers Total Access. We are coming to you from the Hooters Owl's Nest alongside Luke Goedeke. We were just hearing about how you had to put on weight. How many calories do you think you were having to eat a day?
Probably, I'd say around 6,000-7,000.
Good night.
That is a lot.
It was miserable.
What do you think you were doing when you were doing this?
That was like, I think I might have hit like, I was probably hitting 6,500, but at like a peak. Like I wasn't like, that wasn't consistent year like years or months of that even. Like that was just like.
Yeah, mine was months of that.
Yeah.
Just constantly. Like I remember going to a calf in college. It was usually an hour and a half experience. I'd be there. Plate after plate after plate.
I just want to put this into context. There's some people that say like Casey, I feel like even you said this, like, oh, I struggled to gain weight.
Yep.
That's Casey. Like,
I don't tend to tell people that because it doesn't make you popular in the world, particularly among women.
Sorry.
Yeah.
They're not like, oh, that sounds nice.
Sorry for airing out your stuff.
I don't think the dudes listening
radio.
to this station. I think it's fine.
Oh, sorry about that. But there are some people that say I struggle to gain weight. I'm like, have a meal with Luke. Have a meal with me.
We will teach you.
Yeah, we'll teach you the ways.
It's possible.
It's just terrible.
Terrible.
Yeah.
You just don't want it bad enough.
Don't want it bad
That's
enough.
very accurate. I don't. It sounds terrible. Do you think you're going to end up being like Allie and when you're done playing, just like
Absolutely.
shedding?
I'll probably be like 240, 250.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see it. You're gonna. I mean, you love lifting.
Yeah, I'm never gonna stop working out. Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting. And so I know that when you came in here, you'd played tackle and then you were gonna be playing guard when you started. Mm-hmm. I think you called Allie for advice when you got here, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Aw, look at you just mentoring the youth.
He's done a very nice job.
Just an old bull and the young calf.
That's all it is. No, I mean, the truth is there are a lot of commonalities. I mean, coming from a small school and then also being drafted where you were, there's like an expectation to make an impact right away.
Yeah,
which
absolutely.
I could speak from my perspective, was a lot. Like, again, coming from just the D3 small school thing, like it was overwhelming at times, and that you're just kind of expected to get the job done. Fortunately, you've been able to figure it out, and I feel like tackle has been a pretty good fit for you. But it's not easy.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you 100%. I mean, you come in and like you don't know what's going on. I mean, first it's your first year in the NFL, and you don't know how to really go about, and then you have to block the world's best pass rushers and everything, and like. It can be extremely overwhelming. Yeah.
Did you feel like he gave you good advice?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely he did.
Do you remember any advice you gave him?
I couldn't tell you. The truth is, if we're talking specifically, everyone kind of needs their own stuff. And I feel like I have a tendency to speak to the things that I needed to hear.
Yeah. You're like, I don't know if this helps you, but I needed it.
But I need this stuff. But no, it's helpful to know that other guys have gone through the similar experiences. Yeah. And that just because you're expected to do things doesn't mean it's easy to go through, right? I mean, like there's a certain expectation. You got to perform. You got to do these things. Oh yeah. But it doesn't make it any easier.
Yeah. I mean, you get some people be like, oh, O-line's so easy to play. You just stay in front of the guy and block him.
You just get in the way.
Yeah.
Quarterback will get it out.
I would love to see you go back there and try and do what we do.
Right.
Never. How about, so for you, I mean, playing guard last year and then now transitioning back to right tackle this year, what are the most challenging aspects of that, and just what did you feel maybe good about, at one or the other, and just your comfort level at guard and tackle, and just kind of where you feel like at this point now, second year?
Yeah, I think just challenged with switching back to right tackle. I think obviously going to the left side, I mean, you're kind of using a different side of your brain and your body, and then switching back to the right. Having done it, though, in college and everything, it didn't take long to adjust back to that. So I would say that was kind of the biggest challenge. And then your set lines are different at tackle as well and everything. So just adjusting to that, but that didn't take too long either. And then just, I really pride myself on just kind of coming in here day in and day out and trying to get better and just a small % better in every aspect of the game. I mean, really try and break it down into minute details and everything, whether it's in the run game or pass game. So I feel like throughout the year, just have been continuing to grow. I mean, the scout team always gives us a great look and everything. Marquise Watts, he's a practice squad DN. Each week I give him like pass rush moves I need him to do for me that they're past the opposing team, their pass rush moves they do. So just finding that balance and everything, I think it really goes a long way.
That's cool to hear about the practice squad part and the way that you're giving him specific things to do. I feel like a lot of times, again, they're the unsung heroes of the team that people don't even realize what all they do to get you guys prepared. So I feel like that's cool.
It's super important to make sure that you're getting a good look throughout the week. And then as far as you, I was just talking about you transitioning from guard to tackle. I will say my understanding is that, like, you were asked to do that.
Yeah.
Told to do it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But taking that on without kind of like, oh, well, I already had a good thing going here.
Yeah.
Like, I felt like if you take ownership of it, right? Like this is the thing that I'm going to do. It's not like an option. It's not like I wish I was over here. I'm not thinking about what it was like at guard. Like, no, I need to figure out a way to get better every week. I'm going to get this practice squad player to challenge me and make me better every week. Yeah. But the fact that you took ownership of that, like, I feel like that was the most impactful. That at least for one thing that I was doing, it's like, all right, I'm playing center. I'm the center. Like, I'm going to be the best center that I can be.
Yeah.
And it's not like where I'd want to be. That's not the relevant factor. It's how can I do the job to best of my abilities.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is what you're doing at tackle, which is fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. Just like, I'm a big guy who, like, I'm always going full speed. Like, you get those fast Fridays, and you know how they are, Allie. Like, guys will just kind of take it easy, and it's like that works for some players. And it's only year 2 for me, so maybe at some point I might get to that. But like, I'm having him go full speed. I want him to try and run through me on Fridays. Yeah. Like,
I think knowing
that's just how I am.
Yeah, I think knowing what you need.
Yeah.
It can be extremely helpful. So knowing that on Friday I need a real look.
Yeah.
Like I know that I need this when on Friday, like for me in my career, I think towards the end it was more like, no, I just need to fit it up right, make sure that I can see it more accurately. But if you need a more full speed look on Friday, you get that.
Otherwise, my timing just gets off and everything.
Exactly. It's weird when you sort of, or even at 3/4.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like that just didn't feel right. Like, I know how it's supposed to feel at this point.
Yeah, that's huge. And then being able to adjust that. I think some guys feel the need to, like, kind of they don't want to like break the unwritten rules of like going too hard, or you want to be like kind of where everybody else is at.
Yeah.
But if you can be what you need out of it,
it's huge. Yeah. Absolutely.
And how about for you? We're talking to Luke Goedeke. When Dave Canales came in, what are some of the things that you like about him as a coordinator, and specifically what his scheme means to you guys on the O-line, the different things that were kind of unique to him coming in?
I'll be honest. I mean, when Dave came in the very first day, came in and shook all of our hands, went around the whole offensive room and shook all our hands and introduced himself to us. I mean, we all looked at each other and were like, dang, we needed this. This is like just for him to do that small detail, like we could already tell, like this guy means business. We want to play for this guy. And yeah, his mid-zone scheme and everything, working in keepers and everything. I mean, we love that on the O-line. I mean, we really enjoy that scheme. I mean, it's really O-line friendly, QB friendly. It really pairs up well when you're working on all cylinders in every aspect.
That's great.
I will say my understanding of some of the things that you're asked to do by Dave in the run game is it's asking a little bit less, like from previous schemes.
Yeah.
For instance, like you can kind of, you can allow them to allow them to have a one-way go.
Yeah.
And you don't have to cover up everybody and have an answer for everything, because other guys can sort of make you right.
Yeah.
Which I think can be really helpful. You're not asking offensive line to do too much.
Yeah.
I don't want to get too much into how
We
they
don't
go
wanna
about
give
that.
plays
Yeah,
away.
exactly.
Right. I mean, I know you guys would love to geek
secrets.
out on all the little details
Right,
of the
exactly.
O-line, but yeah, we don't want to give the secrets away. How about, I mean, it was not just you moving around. I mean, the whole, like, Hainsey's the only guy that was in the same spot as he was in last year. And, of course, for you to be where you are, Tristan had to move over to left, and I know he's your guy. You guys are little BFFs.
Yeah.
Tell me what it's been like to watch him handle that transition, similar to what we talked about with you, where, hey, like, this is what the team needs of you, and he was to say he was killing it where he was is an understatement.
Yeah.
And to then have to move, what was that like to watch him go through that decision and preparation and the way he's handled it?
I mean, that was huge. I mean, I remember me and him talking about it, like in the off season, like, yeah, they want me to switch to left, and he was a little apprehensive at first, and rightfully so. I mean, like you said, he was killing it all the years he's been in the league so far at right tackle. And then just to switch over at left tackle and still be as dominant as he is, I mean, that just speaks volumes to just how great a player he is. And just he's really a team-first kind of guy. And I think him making that switch, as well as many other countless examples, just really proves that point and everything. And, yeah, like he switched to left, I switched to right, and we had our struggles throughout OTAs and everything, and camp and stuff like that, but we always talk to each other and always communicate, like, hey, what's going on here, and we always kept our heads held high. So just having that, just knowing that we each have each other's backs and everything, and then just really going out there and, like I said, just trying to get better each and every day. And like, if one of us sees something during individual or something like that, we point it out to each other, because we only want what's best for each other.
It's a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, he has been, to your point, the fact that he's been able to be a dominant right tackle and a dominant left tackle, I don't know who else can do that.
Yeah, I'd say he's pound for pound the most athletic human I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I mean,
it's unbelievable.
Yeah. He's an alien.
Yeah.
He might be from a different planet.
Honestly, that was my feeling and reaction when he came in as a rookie. I was so, like, jealous. Like, I was like, are you
You're
kidding?
like, if I could do that.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. I wish I was put together like that.
Well, no, but also, like, Jen, like, his pass pro and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, how he puts it all together. Like, just
so smooth.
It's fun to watch.
Yeah, it really is.
Frustrating. But fun to watch.
Yeah, his recovery. We watched this clip from this past game, and I was like, I don't know how you did that.
Right.
That's not human-like.
Yeah.
That's incredible. How about some of these other guys? I know we got our rookie, Cody Mauk, coming in here. Tell me what he's been like to work with, get to know, and the way he's developing as a rookie.
Yeah, Cody, I mean, he's a great guy. I mean, he's
I was like, when I mentioned his name, Luke got this like smile on his face, and I was like, this is what I love about O-line.
Yeah.
You're all just like,
happy for each other.
Yeah.
You can't now with the toothless wonder. So Yeah, no, Cody's a great guy. I mean, he comes in each and every day just trying to get better, and he's going through the same transition I did. He played left tackle in college, and now he's at right guard. So I know some of the pains and everything, and just trying. I mean, he's done a phenomenal job so far and everything, and just trying to keep our communication up and everything, and really build a connection on that right side and everything, so we can play next to each other for many years to come.
What were some of the, may I ask, what were some of the things, some advice or maybe even like feedback you would give him, I mean, when he was sort of coming in figuring things out?
Yeah, I know. Obviously, like, you come from college and you're dominant, like, there's no one ever beats you, and then, like, he comes here and, like, you get beat a few times and you kind of get down on yourself. I just had to remind him, like, hey, man, like, that's going to happen. You're in the NFL now. Yeah. Like, you're not going to dominate these guys like you did in college. Like, just give it time and keep your head held high. Like, there's going to be millions of voices telling you this, that, and the other thing, and just hone in on what the coaches say and just really try and get better each and every day.
That does just seem so hard to know that every single guy that comes into the NFL was the guy before.
Yeah.
Like, you're the big man on campus, you're the guy, you're the best at all these things, and then everyone was that, and everyone can't be that in the NFL, and how hard of a transition that must be to go from being the guy to maybe, like, you're not starting, or maybe you are starting but you're not doing as great as you wanted. Like, there's a lot to that.
Yeah, and then you get low into the totem pole real quick.
Especially as a rookie. That's very true. Did you have rookie duties last year?
Yeah, I had rookie duties. I just stocked the room with snacks. I did decorate.
Of all position groups, that's the worst rookie duty to have, I have to imagine. I imagine the O-linemen are very particular about the snacks, and you probably have to replenish them more often than other rooms.
Yeah, they're very particular, but I do have to add in, we've been getting ransacked lately by other position groups just coming in and wiping out our room. I know.
You can't be having that.
Just straight highway robbery out here.
Now,
I don't know what's going on.
Is this where I should point out that technically you guys should be able to protect your snacks?
I agree. Well,
it writes itself there.
I felt like I had to say it.
No, one day Coach Moore came in there and
oh, you don't protect it from him. He can have whatever he wants.
Coach Moore, he loves his Oreos, so he can have his Oreos.
Coach Moore can have whatever he wants. I'll go buy him Oreos.
I've caught Vita red-handed a few times.
Oh.
Yeah.
Tough.
Yeah.
That I will say again, if you're going to have to protect the snacks, that's a hard person to protect them from. So that's fair.
May I ask some of the hierarchy of snacks? Like, what are the top snacks in the room right now?
Ooh, well, we've been I don't know if there's any Miss Vickies. I don't know if those have been restocked, but those are always a crowd favorite.
Nice.
That's
a
pretty good.
little salt and vinegar Miss Vickies or barbecue Miss Vickies. Those hit a little bit different now.
So you
especially during camp.
You're making Cody do this now this year, I assume?
Cody's on snack duty. He's done a great job. I mean, we got full-size candy bars. We got Hey,
that's awesome.
Go and take a look in there. It ain't bad.
I'll say when Donovan and I were rookies, we were the worst rookies ever getting stuff, but it was a little bit of a generational thing where we did have some snacks, but tons of like logs of chew.
Oh,
like dip. That was the biggest
that was
rookie.
Your thing?
That was not for us, but for the veterans.
For the vets.
Yeah.
That's great. I love that. All right, we have one more segment coming up here on Buccaneers Total Access, brought to you by Hooters, the original wing joint since 1983. This is Buccaneers Radio. It's time for our final segment here on Buccaneers Total Access. We are coming to you from the Hooters Owl's Nest, joined by Luke Goedeke. So we were talking about the fact that there was, this is a bit of a mini bye, and then you guys have 4 of 5 on the road is what you're in the middle of right now. This 4 out of 5 on the road stretch. I know. Hallie's face. Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. How do we feel?
We get Wright's Deli, though, so I can't go wrong with that.
That is a good on the way out. That's a good.
That's always a good time. Yeah.
It is 4 or 5 on the like home versus road. Tell me how much this matters to you guys in terms of the game itself, what it's like. Like, what are the things that your face you made when you heard 4 or 5 on the road that you were just like, ugh? Tell me why. How do you feel about it? Do you feel as negatively as Allie does about this?
I don't feel as negatively about it. I will say that I don't like the noise. I don't like silent canes, but I don't know if anyone does like silent canes. But I don't mind traveling. I mean, I like seeing new places and everything. Not that we're going there for like.
You don't really get to do anything. Yeah.
You can't go fishing?
Yeah. Surprise.
There's just a pond on the side of the highway you see, Luke.
I packed my rod. But no, I don't mind it. Besides, I mean, inflammation after the games from flying isn't the greatest. But and getting home late, like the last game, I hit the pill till like 5 a.m. and then your whole next day is ruined. So that's not ideal. But I mean, other than that, I don't mind it too much, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was the woof for me. I just know like all Thursday night or any night games.
Yeah.
Especially the away games, you're not getting back till 5 in the morning.
Oh yeah. For away games, nighttime, yeah, definitely that phase.
That's terrible.
But this away stretch is mostly 1 o'clock.
Yeah, that was the only night game of it. Otherwise, they're all just day games, and they're not all at 1, but they're all day games for the most part. We don't have another.
Yeah, that makes
the 49ers. But it's not a night game.
Yeah.
It's just the West Coast part.
Then you'll still be getting
It'll still be
back
late because of the time change.
Yeah.
Which is the worst.
That's like time travel.
Yeah.
Time travel. Oh, that's great. So now looking ahead to the Texans, I know it's early in the week, and so the game planning part is early on there, but are there any things you already know at this point kind of about their defense or things that maybe you guys are going to be focusing on this game in particular?
I mean, their defensive line, they're kind of similar to the Bills in how they play, just like their penetrators versus readers up front and everything. That's what I'd say mostly as far as it being this early in the week and everything. But, I mean, they do have talent up front and everything and in their secondary as well. So, I mean, they're going to be a tough ball squad, and I know their defense, they really like to swarm the ball and everything, so. Definitely something to look for, and looking forward to playing them on Sunday.
What does your film study look like at this point, and has it changed since last year as you've been around the league a little bit more, what it looks like for you to prep for them?
Yeah, I'd say it's changed for me. So usually, like, Mondays, it's probably the third or fourth time I've watched the previous game by a Monday, but I don't usually dive into the next opponent till Tuesday and stuff like that, and then just watch how they play early downs and stuff like that. And as the week goes, watch more of their pass rushes and stuff like that.
I like that.
Yeah, I loved watching third down cut-ups.
Yeah.
And just kind of see how they're going to be rushing the passer. I feel like it can be really helpful for coming up with your own game plan.
Yeah, absolutely. What kind of rusher they are, whether they're a power rusher, finesse, speed, yeah.
And but the only thing with that is you don't get the flow of the game, but it's nice for your own cut-ups. Yeah. I will say I do love the +4 runs. Seeing what runs were kind of effective against them and kind of where there may be some potential deficiencies. I like looking at that too.
Gotcha.
We're talking to Luke Goedeke. Now I ask the most important question of the whole show. Are we dressing up for Halloween tomorrow?
Ooh, I didn't think that far ahead.
It's not that far ahead.
That's a ways away. I already dressed.
1 hour at a time.
Yeah. I don't think that far ahead.
Give it 110% effort.
I already dressed. I used my costume this past weekend. I can't dress up again.
What did you dress as again? I forgot.
I was a breadwinner. I had a ribbon with a little medal on and some winter ribbons on. I had some bread with me. I had some nice.
That's pretty good. Actually.
That's very fun.
See?
I love punny costumes.
I had some nice Jewish pumpernickel with me.
Nice.
What else I had?
This is hilarious.
Some Nature Ovens honey wheat. And then I
love that you thought about the types of bread too.
Oh yeah,
wasn't just grabbing anything.
Yeah. And I had some nice Wonder Bread. You gotta throw that in there.
That's incredible. I figured this is something that Allie and I have talked about in previous shows. We used to have a segment with Ian Donovan called Big Man Struggles. One of the ones we always talked about was how limiting Halloween is when you are a big man. The things that they wanted to be Power Rangers so bad.
Oh, yeah.
And
that's
just
could
not find a onesie Power Ranger big enough. Have you struggled with this? Or were you didn't get big until later enough in life that maybe you were okay?
Yeah, I've been okay for the most part. I mean, I'm more of a homemade kind of costume guy. I'm more original. I'm authentic.
I'm a poser, dude. I just copy.
I didn't know that's what you live by.
I'm not that creative, I think, for the outfits, for the costumes. I need to hear. What were some other previous costumes for you?
It was either previous costumes. Last year I was a shark attack victim, so I got injured, so I had a boot on. And then I had like the swim trunks on and like a tattered like white shirt and like a shark bite and red paint on the side.
I like that. Using the situation.
Yeah. I was thinking you were going no shirt just as an excuse to go no shirt.
That's next Halloween. Don't give away my costumes now.
Okay.
That's amazing. So now, Allie, this is your sort of first Halloween being as slim as you are. Last year you had lost a fair amount of weight too. Yeah. Did it change your Halloween plans?
Yeah, what are you going as?
So I've got a big onesie Sully from Monsters Inc. and I can fit in it. And
look at that. Look at the excitement on his face.
Right.
Who's Mike Wazowski?
This is from classmates from school.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's incredible. So were you just so excited? Did you think about that with Halloween of like, I can finally do what I want to do?
It didn't dawn on me until I was like, kind of roped into like doing this thing. I was like, well, I guess I can actually do it. Like I don't have
no
an
excuses. That's amazing.
Yes, I can.
That's awesome. So do you have something now aspirationally as well that you want to do? Do you think now is the Power Ranger time finally
I could
coming
probably
out?
do the Power Ranger. And I think anything.
What color?
I would probably be the Black Ranger. I like the Black Power Ranger.
Okay.
What would you be?
Probably the blue one.
Yeah,
Nice.
I think you'd be a blue Power Ranger too.
Yeah.
Do you
I
have-
watched a lot of Power Rangers growing up. Can't remember. Do they have names? Do they even
So
have
there's
names?
so many generations of Power Rangers that
okay.
they have. Like Rocky was pretty consistent, but they changed. Like the Red Power Ranger name would change, the actor would change. There's
okay.
been like I can't keep up.
Yeah.
There's too many of these.
You can't keep up to this
I
day.
can't keep up. There's the amount of generations Power Rangers they've gone overboard. Honestly, I'm not here to bash Power Rangers, but my
I
gosh.
didn't see this soapbox coming. I did
here
not
we
see
go.
this coming. What a way to end our show here. All right. Thank you, Luke, so much for joining us. This has been awesome. Thanks to all of you guys for listening. This has been Buccaneers Total Access brought to you by Hooters, the original wing joint since 1983. This is Buccaneers Radio.